welcome. Happy New Year. My name is Teresa Sharoni, Director of Operations for HIA-LI. On behalf of our President, Terry Lisi-Maselli, and our entire Board of Directors, it's truly my pleasure to welcome you to HIA-LI's annual meeting and legislative breakfast. Before we get started, if I can ask everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Once again, thank you all for being here. It is now my pleasure to introduce HIA-LI's newly elected Chairman of the Board, Robert Corte.
Well, Happy New Year to everyone, and welcome. I have to tell you, I'm truly honored to be the HIA-LI chairperson this year. So I know I have a daunting task ahead, but I have a great board of directors. I have great staff with Terry, Teresa from the HIA-LI, so it really, I'm looking forward to it. And I'm truly proud to be involved with an organization that has really truly been a business advocate. The way I look at it, they just get things done. And for me to be involved has really been great.
Well, we can report that the association is in very good financial health. In fact, we've had our best year ever in 2015, up 33% from 2014. Many more members are continuing to understand the value of educating, connecting, and doing business in this economy. Our success has all to do with all of our members, so thank you. Help us welcome our new HIA-LI Corporate Secretary, Anthony Mineta, who's going to tell us about the re-election of our board members, new board members, and executive committee.
Thank you, Carol. So we sent out ballots to each HIA-LI board member company for the re-election of board members. We are happy that we have returning board members that can continue to bring their professionalism and their insight to the HIA. So if you are here, I'll ask you to uncomfortably stand next to your chair while I call your name. Joe Campolo from Campolo, Middleton, and McCormick. Rita DeStefano from Portnoy, Messenger, Pearl and Associates. Sue Gubing from Career Smarts, and Ilana Zalfo from Adapt. Please join me in applauding. And we're happy to say that we have a new board member joining this year from H2M Architects and Engineers, a very visible business leader for Long Island and Suffolk County and for the HIA, and that is Rich Human. Please stand up, Rich. Okay, so now we have a new executive board and some returning executive board members that we just wanted to recognize today. Coming in, as you just heard, as our new chairperson, somebody who's given a lot of time and energy to the HIA, and that's our new chairperson, Bob Corte. We have our first vice chair, John Bauer from Littler Mendelson. Our second vice chair, Joe Campolo from Campolo, Middleton, McCormick. Our treasurer is Carol Allen, who you just heard from. Thanks, Carol. And our corporate secretary is yours truly. So I just wanted to thank everybody for giving in the extra time to the HIA and to continuing to make this a great organization. And so now I'm going to introduce Terry Lisi-Maselli to come up and give her report. And as we all know, Terry is the life and blood of this organization. She does a tremendous job leading the HIA, the Hauppauge Industrial Park, and our surrounding areas. As a leader in economic development, business development for Long Island. Here's Terry.
You know, Carol mentioned we had last year the best year ever, and the last few years have been phenomenal. That doesn't just happen. You all know that just does not happen. So let me begin and just thank you all as members for continuing to stay engaged with us. Thank you to our board members, and very particularly Rita DeStefano. Many of you know her. She's the type of gal that just rolls up her sleeves, helped me out tremendously this past year, so I appreciate that as past chair. And all of our board members have that type of mentality where they just roll their sleeves up and get things done. To our committee co-chairs, some of you were in the room today, thank you for leading our committees. And certainly to my staff who makes it all look seamless. I am extremely proud to be leading an organization that has its pulse and its heart in the Long Island business community. I have the pleasure of introducing one of my mentors, and everybody knows Jack Kolka. I know I say that a lot, but he's the CEO of Kolka Construction. He introduced the concept of construction management to Long Island developers. He's one of our original founders, past president, and lifetime board member. He's our moderator for this morning. Help us welcome up Mr. Jack Kolka.
Just this past week, we had the honor of listening to Governor Cuomo outline some rather interesting steps to improve the economic life of Long Island. And it acted as a catalytic agent to get us to focus on various different things that can be done on Long Island that would improve the economic situation. Towards that end, we are most fortunate to have as a speaker today to expand on those steps Jorge Montalvo, who is the Deputy Secretary of State for Economic Opportunity and Director of the State Office for New Americans.
Good morning. Thank you guys all for allowing me a few minutes to tell you a little bit more about the governor's State of the State. Each year, as you guys know, the governor proposes a budget and a policy agenda for the year. And I think it's only fitting and fair that once that's out to the public, that we come out and say, well, here's what's in it. It's a long speech. You guys are busy. You don't always get to hear about what is in the speech. It's a lot of information in the budget. We should explain it to you so you better understand what we're proposing. And then give us feedback. And then hopefully, if you like what you hear, you can tell your elected representatives that they should vote for this budget and this agenda. So thank you guys. This is this general kind of overview of the State of the State. We have a packed agenda today. But please, hopefully you heard things that you liked. If you do, we encourage you to call your local members of the Assembly and Senate and tell them that, that you support what we're proposing this year. We're excited, and thank you again for your time.
None other than our dynamic business, pro-business county executive, Steve Bellone.
Jack has been a great friend, and I think is well known as one of our great business leaders in this region, and this association and the industrial park that it represents is really the gold standard, and he has been the driving force for that, and he has done so much good for this region. Jack, thank you so much for your leadership and everything you've done. I want to thank Terry for her ongoing tremendous leadership. She is a dynamo and does such great things. Thank you, Terry. It feels like at this moment in time that the right people in the right place are coming together. Every once in a while, the stars align, and you have an opportunity to do something important and significant and big that will impact generations to come and set us on a course for great prosperity. I feel like we're in that place now, and so much of that is because of the colleagues and the people that we have today in leadership positions. So looking forward to what's ahead in 2016, and thank you for the opportunity to be here. Thank you. Have a great year, everyone.
One of those people is John Flanagan, who's always been there for us in Suffolk County. And now, as Majority Leader of the Senate, he can only do so much more for the people of Suffolk County. Without further ado, John Flanagan.
Good morning, and Jack, always thank you. No pressure, of course, with those comments. We have every intention of working with the governor and with the State Assembly on issues that are important to people all across the state of New York. And I believe, as Steve, that we have an optimistic future. We're going to have a great 2016. It's going to be contentious. You know, last night was a perfect indication of how contentious it may be. But I am so proud to be in public service. I'm proud to work with my colleagues, and I'm extraordinarily humbled by virtue of the fact that I've been given the opportunity to serve as majority leader. We want to make you proud. More importantly, we want to make you happy. Even more importantly, we want to make you prosperous. Right, Steve?
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll do that together. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
But Tom Croci has truly been a wonderful representative on behalf of Suffolk County at the legislative level. Tom Croci.
Thank you, Jack, and full disclosure, I am a naval intelligence officer, and you do not have to be intelligent to be an intelligence officer, as I prove every day, and certainly the members of my unit can tell you. And as far as intelligence in the Senate, there's a whole lot of it. I'm catching up with some of the experience we have with members from all over the state, small business owners, doctors, people who have been in construction business around New York State. So I'm just a small portion of the talent pool that we have in the Senate majority and in the Senate as a chamber. There really is a lot of good talent up there and a lot of people who work hard, and then they go back to the farm, as we like to say. Come in, do your government bit in Albany, and then go back to the farm, go back to the community. So I look forward in this session, I look forward to your comments, and we have a lot of work to do, and I think if we find that balance and we do all the roles, I think we're going to be okay. And I welcome your comments and questions when we get that period. Thank you.
Our last speaker, and surely not the last by any stretch of the imagination, is probably what we call the most conservative Republican member of the Assembly, none other than Mike Fitzpatrick.
Good morning, everyone. 13 years ago, when I was elected to the Assembly, leaving the Smithtown Town Council, in that same year, John went from the Assembly to the Senate. We would go to a lot of events together, and but when I started going to events where he wasn't in attendance, I would be greeted as Senator Flanagan. Welcome, as Senator Flanagan. Even introduced sometimes as Senator Flanagan. And I know, perhaps from 100 yards away, we probably look very much alike. But I'm actually what John Flanagan would look like with gray hair and 25 extra pounds. Long Island has to adapt to change, and we have to meet the challenges of the future. But we also have to do a much, much better job at reducing the cost of government. When you do that, you will reduce the tax burden, make it more bearable, and we will have all be more prosperous as a result. Thank you.
Oh, I thought it was a great conference. I thought we had great speakers, talked about the issues important to Long Island, in particular being from Transit Solutions. I'm thrilled about the third track. It's an important infrastructure that we'll need for expanding Long Island Railroad service.
I thought the meeting was very interesting today, especially listening to what all the government had to say, what was going on in Long Island, and the HIA always puts on a great show. Thank you.
My name is Jennifer Gonzalez. I'm from People's Alliance Federal Credit Union. I thought it was very interesting. It was good to see a lot of different point of views and see what could possibly happen in the future.
Carol Woods from the Long Island Housing Partnership, and I thought the meeting was very informative, very interesting, and had a lot of good networking possibilities.
John Savaries from Investors Bank. I thought it was an excellent presentation for Suffolk and New York and gave us some insight into what 2016 is going to look like for business development.